The Brawl Stars meta is kind of on fire right now, leaning a bit more towards the competitive scene because of 3 different brawlers reaping havoc as a team comp in the community, netting the most free trophies and free wins here in the game. So just about 4 weeks ago now, at the point that I'm recording this video, we had made a video highlighting a really interesting team comp utilizing some of the bizarre mechanics that Gray has. What we ended up finding out is you could use Gray's star power on decaying stations and just stations alone to heal them up for that 1000 HP that the star power has. In tandem, by manipulating the range of the super by putting it up against a wall or other use cases, you could get a decaying gadget station to effectively stay alive the entirety of the match if it's not destroyed by someone shooting at it, of course. So because of this, it allowed some cheesy strats to return to the game, though not as effective as the older ones. However, around the time this interesting bugged mechanic was found, something else was looming in the shadows, a team comp even more cheesy and even more effective in a competitive setting. And that is the 3 brawlers currently reaping havoc in the game, causing insane amounts of stress to several pro players out there: Bo, Jackie, and Gray, the freest trophy team comp there is. Now you may be thinking, Ray, why in the world are you bringing this up now if this crazy good team comp was available to be utilized for over 3 weeks now, basically since the update was released? Well, to be honest, up until this point, it really wasn't being utilized all that much and only really became a problem and talked about in the community upon the arrival of the championship challenge this weekend, the 15-win challenge, which has a ton of stakes involved. These championship challenges returning to the game are not only great for progression, but also a vehicle for any pro player out there with aspirations to get to the world finals. You need to beat the championship challenges every month to then qualify for a bigger tournament, and the people who place well in that tournament then compete in the monthly finals that are televised on YouTube and Twitch. If you compete very well throughout the year in the monthly finals, you accumulate points to qualify for the worlds. So there's a lot of steps involved, and it really goes to show how great the players are who make it to worlds, but it all stems back to the championship challenge. It's the starting point. If you can't win this, you'll miss out on that month's monthly finals and not be able to accumulate points for worlds, which is insanely detrimental to the pro players that we see consistently competing here and trying to make it to the worlds. If they miss out on a month, that is huge. Several of even the more noteworthy pro players that breeze through the championship challenge and make it pretty much so every single monthly finals had a very challenging time with this championship challenge, some of which almost lost, and I'm assuming some actually did. The key factor being the final stage here, Knockout, where Bo, Jackie, and Gray excel in. And not only that, this map in particular is really good with the comp, while at the same time the format of these challenges are not drafted, so there's no way that you can combat a organized team comp of this caliber to any degree. So because of that, we are getting screenshots like this. Bobby BS, a renowned pro player that's made it to the world finals, I believe twice now, and placed very well in this year's worlds, took a screenshot of this monthly finals, almost losing here to the Bo, Jackie, Gray comp. They had 2 losses here, 1 more loss, and they wouldn't have been able to progress through the normal functions to accumulate points for worlds. And it goes even deeper. They were on their last game and last loss in Knockout, but brought it back there in the end. They had that loss and they had to win 2 in a row. We were actually able to see how this match would end up wrapping up thanks to STMM Peter here. Also showcasing kind of how the strat is utilized. We have Czar and Bobby on that final match, getting close there on that one as well. But they're up against Bo, Jackie, and Gray, and even Bobby and Czar's team here, Czar also on STMN, needing to utilize some sort of strat that is close to that, right? Bo, Gray, as well as Shelly, but with some really great mine placements and other phenomenal plays, they were able to play better than the cheese there. So this paints a perfect picture as to how good this team comp is, how free the trophies can be with this thing, and why it should be corrected if pro players at this caliber, who literally just breeze past these championship challenges on a regular basis, are having a tricky time in the first step of the process. But I would say probably the the most alarming example as to why this team comp needs some changes here. We have Tensai, back-to-back Brawl Stars world champion here, along with his team, also had an issue with the championship challenge. He was down to his final game as well. In the tweet, he says, "I cried the moment I won." So if examples from really noteworthy pro players in the community having a tough time with this challenge because of the comp such as Bobby isn't enough, then I would say a player from the best team in the world for 2 years straight having an issue with this, I think solidifies this thing is an issue. Of course, in the tweet, he doesn't confirm that that's what he was going up against, but it should just be assumed, seeing once you made it to knockout, literally every freaking team was utilizing this comp, man. We have this guy. Yeah, I think he hit it right on the head with 70 likes here. Bo, Jackie, and Gray. So how is this team comp utilized here in game, and why is it such a problem? And the reason I'm bringing it up here now, and why I didn't while this was starting to brew in the community, is I definitely wanted to avoid any further attention to it to minimize it before the championship challenge, seeing that it does have insane progression and I don't want you guys to miss out on it just because of cheese. But now that it's starting to kind of come to an end, I think it's important to take note of this comp, because the more it's being utilized, the more it's affecting the meta, and the more people get fed up with the comp itself and its cheese, the faster it very well could be changed here in the future. So that's my attempt at this here. But the basic premise here all revolves around Bo's totem and your play style. You need to play a very campy gameplay with this comp, very similar to the Bo Nani cheese way back in the day. The duration of one Bo's totem is enough to get Gray's super, and then of course once that is obtained, you carry out the plan. But you group up and go in together, teleporting as a team to a location where the enemies are, to completely surprise them and kill them super fast. Now the good news of this team comp is, yes, it is a very cheesy and very free win team comp here, but its use case is not insane here across all of the game modes. Much like the Bo and Nani cheese, it's really only good when you can play campy in game modes, so namely bounty and best of all knockout. Game modes where kills are the most important aspect and there is no other outwardly objective, so that it can allow the enemy team to need to pressure you and get into your playstyle playing campy. So then it begs the question, what would be a good change to this comp so it wouldn't be such a problem here in the meta? My goodness, the way they combated the Bo Nani cheese is they actually implemented decaying to gadgets that were stations. So we have that freaking team comp to thank for that. But I think the Brawl Stars dev team definitely pinpointed the issue back in the day, hit the nail right on top of the head. I've been seeing a lot of people calling for an emergency Gray nerf, which is definitely a route that they can take. Maybe something like Gray wouldn't be able to bring a teammate along with him with his first initial teleporter, almost like his first super is just a setup and he gets to go through. But I'm gonna be honest, I really hope that's not the case, because I really love some of the unproblematic things that Gray can do here with his teleporting mechanic, much like Ash Brawl Stars here bringing up teleporting a tick head. Situations like this aren't going to arise like every single game, and it's really cool, right? A crazy high skill cap, getting on top of the tick head, teleporting, it's funny, it's awesome. But where I think the main problem lies here, time and time again with these cheesy comps that keep popping up, all stems back to the freaking Bo super totem gadget. It's a really cool gadget and the one most utilized on Bows here in the meta, but I can't be the only one noticing a trend here with this thing. Every single time some sort of meme cheese comp that's actually functional and provides free wins here in the game revolves around getting a super for free from Super Totem, the gadget. I'm not sure what they would end up doing to make changes to this gadget that haven't already been made. The decaying of the gadget really did a great job in combating that Nani Bo cheese, but I'm not sure how much more you can nerf this thing into the ground before it just becomes not a really good gadget at the end of the day. Maybe a potential rework to the gadget, though I think that would be kind of a sad outcome seeing that it's a pretty beloved gadget. But I think the main focus should be on Bo and his gadget, not necessarily gray, though I could see that being an outcome here. Of course, be sure to let me know what you guys are thinking about this wild thing. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard or even tried out this team comp, but if you haven't, hey, now you know. Have fun with it while it's still a functional comp. We really don't know how long it's going to take, or even if they do end up making changes to this thing in the first place. I mean, the Bo Nani cheese was a viable comp for months, dude, but only time will tell on that front. But yeah, everyone, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to slap a like on it. I'd really appreciate that. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Keep having fun, Brawl Stars, and we'll see you all in the next one. Adios and take care.